Hi, join us as we transform our boring suburban block, which has no room for food, into a herb and flower little haven. And also as we join the community garden, we're just waiting for our approval because we haven't been up to our food forest forever and we're missing out on growing some amazing stuff. So let's kick this episode off. I'm Tanya from She Who Tries Everything and we're on our way to the community garden. So I'm walking down to our local community garden. I've put in an application to become a member for 2026. It's only 5 minutes from my house. And as you'll see in the rest of the YouTube video, obviously we haven't got a huge amount of area to plant food crops or anything like that. And because we haven't been back up to the block, it's been, I've been itching to do something. So I've got to make the most of what we've got where we are. And I don't think enough people know about community gardens in their area. I certainly have walked past this one for the last 5 years and sort of, always thought, oh, that'd be fun to do. So I just bit the bullet because I saw someone in there and I approached them and they were lovely and I went, yeah, I think I want to do this. So we're walking down there now to meet them because I've already put my application in. And we'll see how it goes. So I'm pretty sure you can film in there, but I won't. I don't want to be an idiot on my first day. But in the bylaws, I don't think there's anything about not being able to film in there. But if we do join, obviously I'll only film content when I'm there by myself. And it'd be interesting to see what I can do in 1 year with a plot at the community garden. Well, that went really well. They were lovely people. I think we'll get our approval in the next few days. But until then, welcome to my place. Our house faces south. And really, I've been here for quite some time. It's got no personality. I think I put all my effort into the block. The only things that I'm sort of growing are my succulents because they grow themselves. So that was all rock and I decided let's just make that a succulent bed and get all the freebies that I can. So we've got that sort of powering along at the moment. We're really lucky because we live across the road. There is some council stuff across the road, but we've got this sort of nature reserve across from us, which is great. Backyard is a problem. It gets a lot of western sun and it's basically concrete and astroturf, artificial turf and a pool. Too many golden cane palms to manage for such a small area with nowhere to mulch or compost them. And the backyard is just the pool and the barley hut and some more concrete. So there's not a lot of areas to have a garden bed. There's not a lot of areas that get the right amount of sun every day. So what I've really decided to do is just to concentrate on my medicinal herbs and also some flowers because they're just too expensive to buy in the shop. So I am going to be growing a lot of zinnias and I also would love to get into dahlias. So if anyone is around the Gold Coast, Brisbane growing dahlias successfully, let me know. If anyone wants to come and chop down my palm trees, they're also most welcome to do so. Every week I fill that bin up with those golden cane palms and we look at those fronds and going, God, I wish we could take them up to Turkey Beach, up to our place, our block. This is a small amount of garden soil for a garden bed I have, and that's where I'll be putting some flowers to have as cut flowers. And as I said, the palms are just a ongoing dilemma. Anyway, the AstroTurf was way too hot to sit on, so I put a painting cloth out and starting to get into getting some seedlings going. One trip to the nursery just reminds you how expensive gardening is. So I will be using seeds to raise anything I can, and also keeping seeds. So today, to get started, I really wanted to get some seeds that I already had purchased last year and get them out before they were past their best buy date. I do have a lot of zinnias still to plant out, some of my medicinal herbs, and yeah, we're just winging it on the lawn. So just filling up my little containers. I think I might have got those off Temu, and I've just got some potting mix and some seed raising mix mixed together just to make it go a little bit further. And at least with these bigger pots, I feel like I've got a little bit of time before I can plant them out. So some of these might even go down to the community garden once we get approved. I bought this cute little seed book, which is great because it's all plastic, you can see, but very, very hard to get those little seed packets in and out of there. So I do need to reorganize that later today once I've finished. I've been buying seeds from the seed collection, not sponsored by them at all. I've actually just placed another order, which I'll show you later, for the community garden. And I just find that they have a lot of varieties that I can't find in the local stores, especially with the medicinal herbs. So I'm just going through anything that looks interesting that would be okay to plant in this very hot weather at the beginning of December. There's one lot finished. And how expensive is garden racking? That's another thing I've been looking for, and I don't want to pay hundreds of dollars. I found this garden racking, it is plastic, but it was like $39, so that was a winner for me. And the other thing that I had struggled with this week is those grow pellets. I bought a different brand. These weren't the Jiffy ones. I just had the Jiffy container and they would not swell up. I can't remember the brand, but I put them out in the sun. I put boiling water on them, and I need to use them, but I won't be using them again in the future because it just took too long. They were so compact and not ready for the seeds. Here's the start of some of my herbs. I've got an echinacea growing and also valerian. The echinacea looks pretty healthy, but I don't just want one, I want many. And then I have this small little plot with one zinnia which self-seeded itself, and when they pulled down the barley hut we kept those little wings on top, and I'll make them a decorative feature in there somewhere. So that's the only dirt I have for a flower garden. And now let's prepare these zinnias. So these are the zinnias I got last year from the seed collection, and I did grow some last year. They were great, but again I had them in pots, but this time I'm going to put them into that little flower bed. My reason for planting flowers is just to have them on hand to put into the house, and just the joy of going out and seeing them, and also for the bees. We need stuff for the bees, and it just looks pretty. And I'm little cottage garden, so I'll get these started in those grow pots. Zinnias are a very flat, long seed, and they go in quite easily to those seed pods that I've got there. The varieties I'm growing this time is Zinnia Oklahoma Pink. Then there's also a Zinnia Dreamy Rosy, and I just can't remember what they look like. I also had this packet of cumin seeds. I think they might be outdated, but let's just give them a go. So I had to be a little bit ingenious with these little grow pots. I had to dig a little hole in them just to put the seed in to get them started. And I also had some rosellas. Now these are seeds that we picked from our rosellas up on the block, and I thought let's get those started just in case I want to put them down and share them with the community garden, because I didn't see anyone having anything like that down there. So I have to label everything because I forget what I've put where, and with having multiple varieties of zinnias I have no idea of which ones. So there we go, they're all named.
Now that I've finished planting all my seeds, I thought it's time to clean up this little seed packet so I know what we've got, especially with the next order that I've just placed with the seed collection. I have a lot of vegetables coming in that one for the community garden. I bought these paper seed bags a while ago. Actually, I think they came with this little book, and they're much easier to put in and name and see what's going on. So basically I'm just transferring any seeds I had over, and what I thought I would also do is put the date on it that I planted the last lot of seeds, just so I've got some sort of record. I mean, I am supposed to be doing some garden journal, garden diary, which I started when we were up at the block, but it just hasn't happened. Just, you know, I'm one of those people that have 1,000 projects on the go. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you out there like that as well. So at least I got some sort of organization going with this little seed saving journal. That's the other thing with the community garden. They are looking at doing seed swaps, and there's one fellow down there at the moment who's been with the community garden for over 22 years. We think he might be from Greek or Cypriot background. So these are the people I want to learn from. They're growing things that we don't normally grow in our Australian gardens. And he apparently grows some of the best tomatoes varieties. So pretty keen on that. And here we are, another trip to Bunnings, just to remind myself to grow my own things. I was caught in the shower, the rain shower, where they're watering the plants. It's so hot. I think it might have been 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And off to get some more potting mix. I can't wait till I can access the compost from the community garden. That's that greenhouse kit I bought with the cheap shelving, but now what I'm looking for is a trellis to grow a star jasmine that I want to put out the front. Absolutely love the smell of star jasmine, and I found this grip and grow, which is an extendable wire trellis that I can just stick in the ground, which would be great. So it was a bit of a danger taking it around the aisles, but it got there. But this is where this star jasmine is going to go, so the western sun is hitting on that wall in the afternoons, and I want to sort of transform that whole area, whether it be with pots or whether I get the succulent garden going on both sides. But I think on the wall side I would like to be able to train this star jasmine to go along possibly the whole length if I get some wires. So next thing was to put it in one of these grow bags, because it's what I had. But yeah, apparently I am not doing that now.
Well, I just got off the phone to Ben and I was about to plant out that star jasmine, but apparently he said, don't do it. I'm going to buy you a really cool pot to put out there so you're not putting it in a black grow bag at the front of the house. So that's pretty cool. So I might just head back out when the sun goes down. It's so friggin' hot at the moment, and put some of my herbs in the grow bags. They won't be sitting at the front door. So thank you, Ben. That's my Christmas present. I'll keep you guys updated to what sort of pot I put out there.
Let's get these kitchen essential herbs going into my little worm farm. We bought this a couple of years ago. That was another Christmas present Ben got me, and it's a worm tower, and you can grow into it. So you put soil, all the worms are in the top, and they're doing amazingly well. There's a sticker in there, shouldn't be in there, but the worms have survived over 2 years, and at the moment I have tons of them in there. Camera's not really bringing them up, but I feed them maybe once a week. I don't have a lot of leftover scraps. There they are. Look at them. Look at the mass of them. Obviously I don't put any meat in there. Down at the community garden they also have a worm farm, but someone's in charge of that and she's looking after that, so we don't add anything, so she knows when they've been fed and what they need. So I have my own little worm farm at home, and it's great because I get the fertilizer from it. So when I water those plants, I'll be putting those herbs into that base, and they don't need fertilizing because they're getting all the goodness from the worm juice, as I call it. They're getting the castings dropping down, and the worms can move into that little section of soil if they want. As I was digging that up to get this prepared, I did find an earthworm in there as well. So that's great. And I think sometimes from the worm juice or the worm poo water that comes out the bottom, which I'll show you in a minute, I think some of the eggs from the worms are obviously in that water as well. So when I go and water my other plants and give them that little bit of nutrient goodness, their little worms are popping up everywhere. So I know they're composting worms, but still, they're worms. So this is the overflow out of the worm farm, and I just use an old yogurt container and fill that up. And sometimes it overflows. I don't get too worried about it because I'll always have this worm poo juice. Happy face, happy plant food. So we're 3 days in now since I planted the seeds, and we already have the zinnias popping their little heads up. So that's 3 days, guys. Crazy. So I haven't had the top on because it's been warm. I've just kept them on that front balcony. I've put water in the bottom, and then every morning I just use one of those misters and I mist over the top. So that means that my seeds are still good. There's still a fair few that haven't popped up yet, but the zinnias are out of the gates. Here's my pot I chose for Christmas. How cool is that? It sort of gives that coppery vibe, very textural, but that is where the star jasmine is going, and we were able to bend the trellis in so it actually went into the pot, which gave us a little bit more height. So I'm pretty happy with that. What do you think of the texture of that pot, guys? It's amazing. And we are now at day 7 for the seedlings, and look at these zinnias go. They're crazy. They're just getting their little heads out to the sunshine. So when they get a little bit bigger, I'll start planting some into that back garden. And the other tray that I started with, there's only one I can see, and that's the row of echinacea. There's one little echinacea seedling poking his head out there. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for joining us as we transform this boring suburban block into herbs and flowers, and also get our start on the community garden. So I can't wait to go down there and show you what that's all about, and might inspire you guys to join your local community garden. And we are just sitting in the van at the beach right now. It is like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm editing a YouTube video in the back of our van. So have an amazing day, and I will see you on the next episode.